Hello, boys and girls. I'm so happy to be here with you virtually. My name's Laura, and I'm a beekeeper. I'm going to be talking to you today about the honeybee. Let's talk about the life cycle of a honeybee. The queen lays an egg into a hexagon wax cell. Here's a model of an egg. They're much smaller in real life and very hard to find.
Look very carefully in the cells here. Do you see the little eggs? It looks like little tiny grains of rice.
The egg hatches into a tiny white legless larva. It almost looks like a little shrimp.
Again, look carefully in these cells and you might see the larva. It's very small and hard to see.
The worker bees will feed this larva. Eventually, it transforms into a pupa. The pupa almost looks like a full-grown bee. It has legs, eyes, wings. Finally, it emerges from the cell. And here's the honeybee.
It will either be a worker bee, a queen bee, or a drone.
Let's talk about the worker bee. The worker bees are female bees. They have many jobs to do. The job that it has depends on its age and what the immediate need of the hive is. The worker bee makes up 99% of the hive's population by tens of thousands. The second kind of honeybee in the hive is a drone. A drone is a male bee. He lives for 4 to 5 weeks, and they do no work inside the hive. They're fed by the workers or help themselves. They make a mess of things. But they're needed to help the queen create more eggs. They have a big round body and big black eyes. They're bigger than the worker bees. Finally, we have the most important bee out of all the hive, the queen bee. She is the only egg-laying female. She spends all her time laying eggs. She cannot feed herself or clean herself. Wherever she goes in the hive, the nearest worker turns towards her and cleans her and feeds her. Do you know she can lay 1,500 eggs in one day? The queen has a long, thin body and small wings, and her body is longer than her legs. Many beekeepers will have a queen that is marked with a dot on her back.
Can you find the queen? She's marked with a blue dot. She knows what kind of egg to lay, drone or worker, by how the worker bees create the cell.
The most important thing that a honeybee does for us is pollinate. Honeybees account for up to 80% of all pollination. Albert Einstein once said, "If the bee disappears from the surface of the earth, man would have no more than 4 years to live." Because of the honeybee, we have all the food that we eat and love.
Pollen is collected on the head of the honeybee. It's removed by the front legs and mixed with a little nectar, passing it to the back legs. It creates what we call pollen baskets. Can you spot that bee here? Besides collecting the pollen, the workers also collect nectar from flowers. They bring it back to the hive and store it in cells. They mix it with just the right amount of water. It results in honey. Besides living on their own in nature, bees are also kept in hives. Beekeepers tend to these bees. Here we are using smoke to tell the bees to go to the bottom of the hive. This allows us to take frames out, check for the queen, check that she is laying eggs, and the overall health of the hive. Would you like to be a beekeeper when you grow up? You can help the bee population and in turn have a part in pollinating our food.
Can you name the 3 types of bees in the hive?
Worker bee, drone, and queen.
What is something that bees give us that we can eat?
Honey.
And finally, what is the most important thing that a honeybee can do for us?
Pollination. Without them, none of our food would be pollinated.
I've had so much fun being here with you guys today. I hope you enjoyed seeing the bees in action. Take care.